A lot of people are saying that democracy is in crisis, that the understanding and practice of democracy is being questioned every day. Recent events in United States and the Brexit in the United Kingdom seem to reinforce that narrative that increasingly across the world, people are beginning to question the value that democracy brings to their lives. And so what we see in this trend is not that people don't think democracy as a concept is good, but of course their relationship with democracy is as to how it impacts on their lives. And so when, for instance, people begin to see or begin to feel that within a democracy their views are not being respected, immigrants seem to be taking their job, when they begin to believe some of these things, then they want to push back. They want to, go outside of the normal to make their views heard. And so we see a Trump that came into power, riding on that widespread resentment of the democratic leadership in the United States. So the Democratic Party, they've been there for 8 years. People, for instance, in places like Michigan, believe that these guys don't care about the blue-collar workers. You see the number of Christians, whites, that voted against Hillary. And you begin to get the vibe that, look, perhaps these people feel that this democracy they're practicing within the context of democracy leadership has not responded to their need, has not given them opportunity to be heard. And so they begin to look for something that is different. And Trump, of course, utilized that feeling of resentment, that feeling of frustration that democracy has not delivered for a lot of people in the United States to come into power. But the larger question then is democracy really in crisis? If it is in crisis, why? What can we do to begin to reinforce and uphold those values that democracy holds for us? Now, if we come home, the same crisis of democracy is playing out in our own continent, but in a different way. We see democracies like Senegal not being able to lift their people from poverty. And people are questioning, okay, we have this democracy, they say it's the most stable democracy in West Africa, but it has not translated into an appreciable improvement in the standard of lives of the people. We see countries like Nigeria, where in 2015 the people came out and voted for the first time in its more than 50 years of independence. A ruling party was voted out of power. But more than a year down the line, people are wondering, what the hell did we do in 2015? And so those are our own ironies down here in the continent, manifesting in the failure of democracy to deliver on economic development, manifesting in the failure of democracy in some instances to allow citizens to voice their opinion about how they're being governed. But the question then is, what is the alternative? Are we going to give up? Like Churchill said in the 40s, he said that democracy is the least of the evils of leadership. So more or less, yes, it has its problems, but it's better than the others. But that doesn't mean it's good. And so there are a number of primary or fundamental principles that we have to keep in mind if we have to continue to uphold democracy as we know it. One is that democracy as a normative value, democracy as a principle, is hollow if it doesn't impact on the lives of the people who practice it. And so the principles of democracy doesn't really make sense by just being a principle. A lot of people can't read. They don't even understand what Aristotle said. They don't get that whole theory of democracy. The only understanding of democracy they have is the ability of government to impact on their lives positively.